All right, today's not so critical update, or not so artificial update, not so intelligent update
There you
is
go.
all
Nailed
about
it.
yeah, it's about a public letter that was written by a bunch of people who, well, I have some pretty strong feelings about it, and they're not very positive. So Mike had some other points, and or John as well. It kind of ends with me going on a bit of a rant about things that these people could actually have done instead of writing a not very useful letter.
You call it a
So,
rant. Others might call it the only substantive part of the show. So.
True.
I think Mike might be being generous there, but check it out. It's on today's Not So Intelligent update. All right, getting ready to some fisticuffs here today because we're going to talk about this letter that was written, an open letter entitled Pause Giant AI Experiments, an open letter from a whole... it's basically saying AI development's bad and things are going too fast. Come on, guys. GPT-4 is like the limit. We need to slow down and regulate things and make sure that we're not headed into a dystopian nightmare future where AI bots are going to take our jobs, get off our lawn, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a bit of disagreement on Discord because reading through this letter made me genuinely angry, and I expressed this opinion on Discord. And Mike said, "Oh, I'm 55 million years old, and
True.
I don't like new technology, and I agree with the sentiment of the letter."
That's
so
what I said.
That's
that's
canon.
word for word.
Yep.
So, Mike,
What?
why do you think that this is a worthwhile endeavor to put on the internet?
So first of all, I don't think you characterized the current state of AI fairly at all. And there's two sides to this. One is the content of the letter. The other is the subject of the letter, right? So the content of the letter is kind of cheesy. Some of the arguments they make, I think, are not the best arguments. So you could say it's not well written, it's not well supported, whatever. To the subject of the letter, however, I 100% agree that we are rushing headlong into treacherous territory that we do not understand and are not prepared for, and we should think twice about that.
Okay, I don't disagree with that entirely.
Yeah.
But I do think
Episode over.
that the letter's bullshit. I think the content of the letter actually matters. And I think it being well written and making good points and suggesting useful things to do are like a reason for existing. And if those things aren't there, which you admit that they're not, this is just a load of bullshit. And it smacks to me of a bunch of companies who are not in the cool gang at the moment, who haven't got as advanced tech as OpenAI have. They don't have a chat GPT-4 or GPT-4. And they're like, hey, slow down, guys. It goes so fast. If any of the people on that list who signed it had developed and released GPT-4, they would be full steam ahead. Like, we have a first mover advantage, and we're not slowing down. And I think.
Okay. I have a couple of points I want to bring.
Go ahead.
One, let's say, I don't know. Let's say somehow this is enforced. Where would it be enforced? In what physical location or region would it be enforced? The United States, North America, Europe? Because I'll tell you what, China and Russia are sure as fuck not stopping any type of development in all uses of AI. And any form of AI development will not be paused. Okay, yeah, we get it. A bunch of people signed it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean
I was looking for popular names. So like at the top it was like Musk, yay. Steve Wozniak, Andrew Yang stands out. I'm sure a bunch of these other people are like co-founder of Pinterest, Ripple, Getty Images.
Okay, that's
Stability
totally
AI
fine.
is an
That's
interesting
totally fine. They can agree with this. Yeah, they can ideologically they can agree with this. But in reality, this is now the next space race.
But
what you're signing on to pause is to lose, basically, because what will come from AI are new threats. That's a guarantee. New security threats will emerge just from AI. So what you're saying is that the Western world should shoot itself in the foot and not participate in the run at all. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, they're specific. They're
I
not
hear
talking
pause
about
development.
stopping AI development. They're basically talking about how they're training large language models.
Okay, that actually brings me to my second point. I had a really interesting conversation with some really smart people, and the way that we're rolling currently in regards to both training and releasing GPT or GPTs is that we're training them and letting them also let loose on the web. And currently, we're letting them loose on the web through individual proxies of people. A person releasing a paper online for peer review that was actually written by GPT, but no one knows that it was. Okay. And then we're taking new models and training it on stuff on the web. So eventually, this wheel is going to start rolling into itself where models
Yeah.
are being trained on older models bullshit, and then the web will just be filled with bullshit written by older and older and older models, all being trained on the same sets of data to the point where it's just bullshit.
Someone made the same point to me on Twitter a couple of months ago, like 3 months ago, when GPT first came out, and they described it as GPT eating its own vomit.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I thought was a great description.
I mean,
but it's like
this
GPT eating its granddad's vomit.
But this is essentially what the internet is.
Lovely. Beautiful description there.
Thank you.
Everybody out there running around, do your own research. Their research is shit posts on the internet that some other asshole wrote who didn't know what they were talking about. We're teaching AI basically to behave like our parents.
Which you know, it is just like a baby, basically. Can I go through a few specific points just to be detailed about this?
Sure.
I had this. My first instinct, my reaction to this letter was to take it apart piece by piece and talk about why each sentence was bullshit. I thought, no, that's just silly. That's not going to have any real. That's not going to achieve anything. But then I did make some notes anyway because I couldn't help myself. The main point, right, is therefore we call on all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems more powerful than GPT-4. 6 months is nothing. 6 months is not going to achieve anything at all. One of the things they want to do is introduce regulatory, regulations and have some nebulous
in 6 months
organization. Yeah, in 6 months, like you can get zero done in government with that much. They want to be the ones in control. They want to be the ones. This is another thing that pissed me off about the whole letter, is that this is basically a bunch of rich people who are going, no, we should be deciding what's going on.
Right.
OpenAI is going too fast. We need to tell them what to do. Powerful AI systems should be developed only once we are confident that their effects will be positive and their risks will be manageable. First of all, they should be developed once we are confident. Who's we? Their effects will be positive. By whose standards? Positive for whom? And their risks will be manageable. Risks for whom as well? Like, who decides this exactly? It's these rich elite fucks. AI research and development should be refocused on making today's powerful state-of-the-art systems more accurate, safe, interpretable, transparent, robust, aligned, trustworthy, and loyal. Loyal to whom exactly? Like, again, who is this? Where is this loyal word coming from? And who is it loyal? Like, is it loyal to the capitalists, to the Republicans, to the Democrats, to the rich guys, to what? Robust public funding for technical AI safety research. Robust public. Okay, brilliant. We've got robust public funding now. Where's that coming from? Who's going to sign it? Who's going to budget for it? Where the money? Like, this is. It's kind of started getting me pissed off about the whole US centric nature of the letter, which is like public funding from the world, the UN, which governments. Should we automate all the jobs? Yes. Even the fulfilling ones. Again, please define fulfilling to whom. Yeah. And no, we probably shouldn't like automate any jobs which are fulfilling. But then let's not do that.
But wait, let's pause on this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mike.
that was the bit that really stood out to me, is because part of what they're arguing is that the reason we shouldn't have AI is because it might do the work people don't want to do anyway. So it's like,
Yeah, right.
We've been talking about
Oh.
the post-scarcity economic stuff in Discord a little bit lately. The argument that we shouldn't have AI because it's going to replace our jobs is ridiculous.
Can I give a shout out to Violet from Discord, because they put it so well, which encapsulates basically everything how I feel about this, which is they wrote, I hate how people won't have to work anymore is a bad thing. Like, yes, that's what it boils down to a lot of the time. People say you're not going to have to work anymore, and other people go, well, I have to work, and working is a good thing. It made me the person I am today. Maybe we shouldn't structure society in a way where the only way for people to be able to do things was with money they get from their jobs. Good point.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much exactly what I wanted to say on that point, which is why I wanted to pause on it. Is
sorry,
you're trying to pause the development of AI instead of fixing. Why don't you guys all go and write a petition and sign a petition to restructure the modern world? Because currently you take away everyone's jobs and everyone's going to be homeless. Like,
well, incidentally,
didn't you guys read Mana? Hello?
Andrew Yang has done exactly that. One of the top signatories of the letter. So more fundamentally, setting the letter aside, how do we take a breath and decide if AI is something we should be doing and how to handle that? These are questions we never asked during the development of social media. Now, social media is a fucking disaster. We're going to end up in the exact same position with AI. Are you just saying, well, there's nothing, the horse is out of the barn, we're just along for the ride, try not to get trampled?
I think the solution is on a political level and on a regulatory level, but you would have to inject the consumer economy through something like UBI with a massive amount of money. This is the only solution to this.
So there's no solution, basically.
This is the only solution. If you want AI to take over jobs that people don't want to do, whatever the job may be, this is it. That's the fix.
Okay, there's a
universal basic income. That's
and
it.
short of that, there's no way to handle it responsibly.
Okay, I think that it'd be nice to say no, there isn't, because that's what it feels like, right? But I think that Microsoft and Google not firing their ethical AI teams might be a start, something like that.
Wait, I have a vague memory. I'm trying to dig into the banks that they did, in fact, fire their ethical AI committee.
Yes, may have happened. One of the things I love about the internet is that there is a thing about standards, which is they get written sort of after the fact quite often. So, like HTTP and all the basic building blocks of the internet are really just codifications of the way that people are doing things anyway. So people kind of recognize what works, and then they write it up and say, this is how we should be doing things. And then everybody else who gets on the bandwagon does it that way, and it's actually been, made into a standard. Interesting facts, actually, there are very few real internet standards. Most of them are RFCs, which is a request for comment, which means they haven't made it to the standards track. But anyway, I think maybe what should happen here is that all these AI companies which have signed this letter should do what is it? Put their money where their mouth is. Create ethical AI teams. Start in industry groups that are talking about these things, specific points that can help. Don't write just bullshit open letters. That should come out with something tangible.
But part of the problem is that these aren't the people who have control of that. Like John said, you're asking other people to stop, which is totally true. We're saying, it'd be like the three of us saying, Facebook, please stop doing what you're doing with social media. Like, yes,
okay.
Facebook is the one who we're asking to stop doing it. We don't have any other control. We don't what else are we supposed to do?
Okay, so first of all, there are a lot of very smart people who know enough about AI and the developments of it that could meaningfully contribute or create some kind of standards, some kind of like ways of operating, some even volunteer kind of things to opt in that would help keep things sane. This happens a lot in the privacy world, where there are a lot of different mailing lists and W3C groups and good work that's happening by volunteers who aren't necessarily in a position of being able to do anything specifically for the industry as a whole. Oops, sorry if you had that dump. But a lot of these groups are made up by representatives of different companies who are doing a little bit to do with it. It'll affect everybody, and they're kind of trying to figure out amongst themselves what's the best way to do things. And it's slow. It takes ages because everybody's got their own agendas, but eventually good stuff does come out of it. And a lot of the time it is a bit like questionable whether it's, effective or if it's too much of a lot of people like Google and maybe Cloudflare or kind of the gorillas in the room often have an undue influence on these things, but that's down to the way that the organizations themselves are structured, and there's ways around it, and that's a separate problem. But nothing like this even attempts to exist that I know of, and I don't think this letter would have been written if so. So the people who wrote this, do that. Create a group. Go to the W3C. Make a working group. Publicize it. Talk about it on Twitter. Start having some actual output. Like, say, this is how things should work, and get some data scientists on board. Start posting on Mastodon. Create a fucking Patreon page and get people to commit to one data scientist's salary a year. I'm sure you could pull together enough money for that. There are things that can be done without, being Google. Okay, I'm done now. Thanks.
I think that was the whole show.
Sorry.
I have nothing to add. No notes.
Same.
Subscribe. Join Discord. Come and talk to us about this. It's a fascinating subject, and we're living in a sci-fi book. Please. We really enjoy people coming by and having chat, and we actually have enough people there to make it fun to come and chat. So yeah,
we do for sure. All right, see everyone tomorrow.